Hi, and welcome to Luther's webcam video recording again. Now it's the 15th of January 2020, and we're getting close to the dear old Brexit date of the 31st. Whoopee. Yeah, so everybody sort of talks about how bad it's going to be. Is it really? Well, let's see. Dear old BJ, old Boris Johnson is determined to do it, and I sit 50-50 on this. It's I can see the good and the bad. I've lived in Latvia since 1993, and I've seen how the European Union has basically been a heap of shite here. The nationalists love it because they can pocket bloody money, and they supposedly keep their nationalist identity, but like everybody knows, the EU is not really into nationalism, it's into federalism and the United States of Europe. Anyway, that's another matter. Let's get on and think about what's happening now. The weather is absolutely crap. I've enjoyed having cold, dry, snowbound winters out here. It's Baltic. We're up about 57, 58 degrees north, so we should have a really good bloody winter. What we got? We've got the UK's crap come over here, so instead of being -10, -15, we're +5. Strong winds, rain and crap. It's bloody awful out there. It really is. No model flying, no boating. I'm not going out there fishing in this crap. And of course, the ice fishermen are all sitting at home thinking, "What the hell's happened?" Because they can't get out on the river to go for their ling and perch and stuff. So it's absolute bloody rubbish. It really is. Banking. Poor. The banking has gone crazy. So many people I talk to now have money locked up in banks they can't get hold of. Banks are shutting down accounts on companies with no reason. Banking has just gone crazy out here, and I thought it was just the Middle East, which last year affected me badly, and the company I work with. It affected us very badly when we had money tied up for 2 or 3 months or not receiving money from clients because it got locked up in intermediate banks, in correspondent banks and so on. And I thought, well, it's just the Middle East, with Trump and his stupidity, but it seems to have escalated around the world now. I've got money stuck all over the place that I can't get hold of. And it's making life very difficult. So I don't know what's going to happen in Latvia and in the Baltics. The local banks are closing accounts on people left, right, and centre. It seems to have just gone crazy, and people I know with very, very good businesses are finding that suddenly people like the Swede Bank have said, "Sorry, your account's closed today." Why? "Oh, we just closed it." Why? "Oh, we don't have to tell you." That's the attitude. Yeah, okay. So anyway, the situation for me is, I don't know. How much longer the Baltics can really survive as it is. There's paranoia and nationalism and everything out here, mate. It's luckily I live outside of town and away from most things, so I can sit quietly. But the bloody weather is bloody awful. So, I've got. But anyway, so my work, which is international, seems to be trucking along. The C1 company is slowly building up its portfolio, doing very, very well in Singapore. So it's, I'm looking forward to two good business building up, and I'd rather it build up slowly rather than a quick. Slow development it seems to be much better. Um, Now, the Ukrainian airliner, isn't that terrible? It's created a mistrust that really was definitely not needed. Maybe it will bring some people to their senses. I think the Iranians actually have a point that the tension increase in the region because of Trump's actions is a valid point. Imagine some corporal or whatever sitting with a button under his finger. He doesn't know what the hell's he doesn't know whether Trump's going to fire something at him. He sees something up there and bam bam, he can't talk to his boss to check whether he should fire, so he's got a few seconds to make the decision, so away he goes. 176 people killed. Terrible. I really feel sorry for everybody on this. And I just hope that the powers that be, Trump, Rouhani, and Khomeini, and all the rest, they just step back and understand what they're getting into. Trump has to realise that the military machine in America has to be controlled. You can't just let them act as they do. Trump, wake up, You're a business guy, you're not a politician, and you've shown that all through your presidency that you're an absolute bloody dunce when it comes to politics. People seem to follow you because you're different. You stand up and you say what you're going to say, and you say you do what you say. Yeah, I'm a little bit sceptical of that last bit, but anyway, yeah, you've got strength of character, but the trouble is politics, mate. And until you actually learn politics, you're going to be in confrontations everywhere. You're in confrontations in the Far East, you're in confrontations in the Middle East, you're even in confrontations in your own country, and you're in confrontations in Europe. So, yeah, Europe itself, yeah, well, Macron is obviously sitting in the wings trying to create a situation where Merkel moves on. Macron hopes to step into Merkel's shoes and take over running the EU. What a bloody disaster, yeah, no, it's yeah. The EU has to wake up. Verhofstadt, well, everybody talks about Boris being a bit of a clown, but Verhofstadt, blimey, how the hell did he ever get a job? The guy is something else, It's yeah. Well, Junkers is out. That's good, so he can take his bottle of wine with him. But this new German woman who's taken over, now she's the ex-German defence minister, I believe. Well, that's not exactly a CV point to put to anybody, is it? Because the German military machine, it's fallen apart, isn't it? Half the bloody aircraft don't work, half the tanks don't work, half the vehicles don't work. It's a bloody abortion. So if she applies the same principle of, well, don't fix what needs fixing to the EU, oh dear, the EU is going to be even bloody worse, isn't it? So maybe it is good to be out of it. Okay, so recently I rejoined Practical Boat Owner Reader to Reader Forum. And it's just as bloody stupid as it used to be when I left. But there's there's a few people I think that there's a few people I recognise from the old days who are good and experienced and got a lot of knowledge to pass on, but there's still the idiots who think they know it all and try to teach everybody how to anchor and so on. If you ever go on a yachting forum and you want to have a bit of a laugh, just ask them whether they use a chain or rope for their anchoring, and then just sit back and watch the stupidity roll out. It's yeah. Well, one of the old ones, and funny enough, I don't see it now. I think because people may have been um, um, told to lay off it, but in the old days, 10 years ago, on the yachting forums, you could always stir it up by saying the Blue Ensign Brigade. The who think they've got a privilege, or the racing rules. That was another one. Oh, racing rules. Give way to a racing boat. Yeah, on my arse, mate. It's I've got as much right on the bloody water as any race boat, so keep to the bloody rules, mate. So I won't impede a race, I won't get in its way, but when a race boat cuts across me, I will not be too happy. So, yeah. Anyway, so I'm basically waiting for winter to get over now. I suppose it's middle of January. It's not unusual out here for the end of January to be cold. We at my place we have dropped down to -25, -27 some winters. We even hit -30 one year. But at the moment, the forecast seems to be positive temperature, for the next week. So I don't know what's going to happen there. But once winter's over and we start getting back into good weather, my Super Ann, my yacht, is fixed on the engine again. She's okay. The headline is falling down, but I can live with that for a while. So she's going to be cleaned up and ready for cruising in the Baltic again, and hopefully work will continue to increase, and I can clear my debts and get sorted out, so I can actually get back to a reasonable life again. So, and at 64 years old, I don't feel it. It's funny. I don't feel 64, but I know that twilight years and all that sort of crap. But yeah. Thinking about twilight years, it's I sit with music on in the car and whatever, and listening to Chris Rea, Elton John, Eric Clapton, all these famous and very very good musicians or singers, whatever. And I think myself, I hear on the radio and so on, I hear the more modern guys, the young guys, and I think, well, I know it's my taste, it's my um, type of music that is the questionable factor here. But I listen to many of these more modern and new stuff, and I think in 20, 30 years' time, 40 years' time, is it still going to be played? Is it going to have the same thing? When the likes of Chris Rea, Elton John, and all this lot have gone and memories, I don't think there's anything as classic as these people around now. It's sad. And too much electronics nowadays. My son is a guitar player. He's got a group. He's got a band and everything. And but the electronics is I think there's too much of it. The gone are the days of real playing. Okay, my son can really play. That I'm very very happy with that. And okay, I think his music is a bit rough. It's not exactly to my taste, but at least I know he can bloody well play that guitar, so that's good. But yeah, the world is changing. We're 21st century. I've run out of sci-fi space stuff to watch. I've watched all Deep Space Nine and Star Treks and Battlestar Galactica and Babylon 5. I watched them all, and I've got this. And I searched through online to try and find new space orientated series to watch that are, shall we say, escapist, like Deep Space Nine and so on. But there's nothing. I can't find anything that's decent to download and watch anymore. I'm watching Peaky Blinders. That's interesting. Based on the old gangsters of Birmingham back at the turn of the 20th century, 19th to 20th century. That's quite interesting. Not, I wouldn't say it's spellbinding or holds you to it, but it's worth watching. Yeah, TV's crap nowadays, isn't it? I suppose with the internet and streaming and YouTube and all the rest, it's the TV is taking a bit of a back seat. Formula One. I restarted watching Formula One last year. It got interesting again. It progressed from the old procession style of the previous years, 16, 17 and 18 so on, where basically if you started at the front, you finished at the front. Lewis Hamilton has taken a lot of stick for his style and character, but I think he's well, I don't think anybody can deny he's a bloody good driver, and I honestly feel that he's going to go way past Schumacher's records. I think he's going to beat those, and Hamilton is in for the long run. He's got a few years still under the belt, and in that time he could easily rack up another 2 or 3 championships. And just remains to be seen whether he stays with Mercedes. Ferrari is supposed to be coming up again in power and speed and handling, and the talk is that Hamilton has been approached by Ferrari. But anyway, Formula One is getting interesting, but again, it's suffered from the minority groups. No Formula One girls holding the markers at the start. No pretty girls on the track. What a ridiculous arsehole act. So what is it with the world now? The LGTB people and transgender and don't do this with girls, don't do that, don't. It's bloody ridiculous. What happened to the world? The majority is pushed to the back and the minority comes to the front, mate. So yeah. I've got views on that as you can understand. Anyway, thanks for your time. I know I ramble on a bit and probably upset a few, but that's life, mate. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the bloody kitchen. So yeah. So I'm sitting here. It's blowing a bloody hoolie outside. It's peeing down with rain, and yeah, it's. I'm looking at myself on the screen and thinking, Nige, you've got to do something else. You've got to find something to do because this is ridiculous. All right, so I wish everybody a happy New Year. Have a great 2020, and let's look forward to some good sailing, good flying, good everything. Let's look forward to a better 2020. So good luck to you all. Thank you, and sorry if I upset you, but that's life, mate. So goodbye, and thank you very much. Goodbye.